You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. And welcome to this week's edition of The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lain, here every week, talking about the landscapes of northern Arizona. And it is the harvest is on. We're eating from the gardens now. Not quite enough to start canning, but darn close. Well, enough peaches. We have so many peaches this year, and they're gigantic. Tons of tomatoes. Lisa was asking me earlier, are you growing a tomato that's green out there, or should it be turning colors? And so I went, nope, they're all red tomatoes. It's just I have different sizes of the fruit size. The plants are the same size, but the fruit is changing. So the smaller cherries, we've been picking those for a month. The medium-sized fruits, we've been picking for 2-3 since July 1st. The really big ones, the brandy wines, the great big slicers, those take a long time to produce that fruit. So they're starting to get pretty big. There's a lot of them, but it's going to take a few more weeks before you can start harvesting those. Typically, you'll start harvesting in July, into June, July, the smaller ones. And then as you get closer to fall, I would say end of August, September, you're starting to pick the really big boys. And so that's what's going on there. I did notice I do have some bugs. They were on my watermelon. I've got some beautiful, gigantic watermelons. Some of the funky, weird, you can't find these at the grocery store. You have to grow them yourself, some of those. A big, beautiful plant. I'm going, now, what is going on? There's little flying bugs around, and I'm looking at it because there's a little shininess to it. They were on my cucumbers. The cucumbers were mutated. They weren't forming nicely. So I got down on my hands and knees. Literally, you have to do this sometimes. Picked up the foliage, looked underneath the leaves, and they were covered with aphids. So I took my spinosad soap. I've fallen in love with that particular spray. It is highly effective. It's a soap, but it also has spinosad, which is a new organic that takes out the insects that eat the foliage. So caterpillars typically. Highly effective. I went through, and here's the painful part for you folks. You novice gardeners, you'll need to hear this. You experienced gardeners, you go, oh yeah, that's what you got to do. Yep, I get it. I did the same thing. Bugs hang out on the bottom side of the leaves. They don't want to be exposed to sun. They dry up and they vaporize, or they're eaten by ladybugs or praying mantis right now. So they are hiding underneath the shade and the coolness of the bottom side of the leaf. In fact, you don't even have to waste energy or time spraying the top of the foliage. Just focus on the bottom side. So I literally lifted up the foliage. I'd spritz a few of them. And a watermelon's a very large plant. This is like 4 feet by 8 feet type plant. And I sprayed all of it. So I lifted up a vine, spritzed, lifted up a vine, spritzed, didn't take very long. And I'm spraying organic, so it's safe to get a little bit on you. Wash your hands, use some common sense. Don't spray the birds and your dog, but common sense. But I could spray it underneath there, and I don't have to worry as much than some toxic thing like malathion. I would never do that with malathion. That's the most deadly killer stuff you could want to handle. But the organics are just as effective, and you got to be strategic and spray underneath the foliage. That's the thing. Foliage underneath side. I see a lot of rookie moves where they're spraying on top and thinking all their problems are going away. If you've got I had a sage plant, beautiful culinary sage, big, established. I'm going, now what is going on with you? What is happening here? They're communing to me. I'm listening. I hear you. I feel your pain. I get down on my hands and knees because a sage is only about knee high. So you got to get down in there and take a look. Started lifting up some of the foliage, looking towards the inside of this shrub kind of plant. And the thing came alive. I mean, little tiny white flies were going everywhere. I went, okay, I see you were talking to me. I hear you. I'm here for you. I will be your doctor, and we will solve this problem together. So I went down and got my spinosad and soap, sprayed down, not the bottom of the foliage, but sage is kind of thick and full and bushy like a hedge. So I kind of opened up the middle of the bush and I spritzed down inside, trying to get the bottom of the leaves and inside the core, because little tiny bugs, they don't like to see the sun. They don't want to be exposed to birds, praying mantis, ladybugs, lacewings, all these beneficial insects, predatory wasps. There's all kinds, flies. They'll all eat aphids. So they're hanging out trying to stay cool and out of the way of predators. So you got to be a predator. Think like they do and go after them, poof, on the inside of that. And lo and behold, I fertilized both. I had my little watering can. I put a couple scoops of, I put exactly 3 scoops of Flower Power. This is a water-soluble food. The water activates this fertilizer in it, so it's instantly available to the plant. So I spritzed the whole thing, and I gave it some magic Flower Power juice. And a week later, literally it took almost, days, you could watch this thing recover. You take the pressure of the insects off, and you give it a little boost with some stuff it likes, fertilizer. And they just ignite. They're just going, thank you. Oh, I love you so much. They express their love to you, and they start growing like mad, like crazy. And so I've got brand new foliage on the sage. My watermelons look better than ever. And my cucumbers, they were so sad. I just felt for them. Now they're pushing on new growth. I picked the few cucumbers that were on it because they were kind of deformed. What aphids do, here's really what's going on. They pierce the leaf or the stem of the plant, and they literally suck the plant dry. And so there's no extra kind of sap, extra juice in the plant to give to the watermelons or the cucumbers, the tomatoes or the flowers, whatever it is. They typically don't kill the plant. They just stress it out so much that it can become susceptible to other diseases. So you really don't, you want to take that pressure off, but they're so easy to kill. The little tiny bugs of summer are so easy that if you take any kind of care at all, the plants just rebound. Now, what I'm finding is the bugs, everything grows faster in summer. Your plants grow faster, they bloom bigger, they bloom more, and so do the bugs. And so you want to be consistent with this. Be on them. Don't let the pressure off. Go all marine on them. You Marines, you hear me, right? Just take the beach, take it. It's ours. You're not coming back here because I'm coming after you again. And so you got to keep checking them weekly. Pick a day. On Mondays, I take my coffee cup and I go check my plants to make sure they're healthy. If you don't know how to speak plant, get down on your hands and knees and take a look. Get closer. Listen. They're whispering. They're telling you, help me. I need help. And then you'll typically see what's going on because you're there. You're close enough. But go for the underneath. Go for the inside. Take that pressure off and then fertilize them. Give them a boost. They want to go. Plants do not want to die. They want to live. They want to grow and make you proud. They want to reproduce. They want to bloom more. They want to have bigger fruits. They want to have more of them. They want to show off. And so you just have to care for them a little bit. And that's why they respond so well to gardeners. I mean, gardeners, we get a kick out of this. We speak plant, and then we can react and help them. And we see the direct benefit literally within days. It just goes right off. My thyme lawn. So I've only got a minute left. I got to go over grubs because I had a spot that was just giving me grief. I killed 3 plants in the spot. I'm going, what the heck is going on? I'm a gardener. This should not happen. I figured it out. I know why. And it was grubs. I'll tell you how I figured it out and what I did about it. So, and I got frustrated and I abandoned that entire part of the garden. I just said, I'm going to go, well, I'll tease you. We got to bring Lisa Waters Lain in with your garden questions. And at the bottom of the hour, how about that? I'll go deep into that. What I did, that was this week's garden project, and it looks magical. The neighbors are all talking about it. I feel good about it. Oh. Waters garden companion plants for August are radio red salvias, trumpeting vine, and butterfly bush.
Monarch and swallowtail butterflies flock to Waters butterfly bush with spectacular 8-inch flowers filling the yard with fragrance and beauty.
Heat, drought, wind only make this shrub bloom more. Tough enough to grow in clay, but hardy enough to shine in containers.
With so many colors to choose, every yard should have at least 2.
You'll only find impressive butterfly bush at Waters Garden Center in Prescott. For a more fruitful garden, increase success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Waters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.